What's up, everybody, and welcome into today's video. This is Dave with the Cream, and today we're talking about how to overcome and overcoming massive financial hardship and some very difficult financial circumstances. And I'm very qualified to share on this topic because, me personally, I've been through a lot of financial hardship, and I'm still coming out of some financial hardship that we've been enduring, myself and my business partner, for the last several years. Been working our tails off, and I'm going to share with you what I have learned, and hopefully you get value from this, and I think you will. I don't care what business you're in, whether it be real estate. I have a lot to share about this topic because I've made the most mistakes. I personally have made the most mistakes of any other real estate, residential, single family real estate investor that I know. And I know a lot of them. I've been in so many mastermind groups. I know so many people nationwide through social media. I'm friends with a lot of people, right? And I don't know too many people. I don't know anyone really who has been through what we have been through and what we have endured. And guess what, everybody? It was completely our fault. I'm going to speak totally today from the perspective knowing that I created all of this mess. And now we're about 75% of the way through. I'm looking at the numbers. I'm going to share real numbers with you here today. And we're about 75% of the way through. And it has been hard. It has been extremely challenging. But now I'm starting to feel that this was the biggest blessing that could have possibly happened to me because it forced me to level up. I have been forced to level up, and I have been forced to become better internally, face challenges internally, face fears, everybody. This is the key to overcoming anything. There's so many hard conversations still right now. To give you a little context, years ago, I've been working with RJ for, I think, 10 years, and we got very good at borrowing money. And leverage and debt is like a loaded gun, right? And we were still operating from this context or from this mind frame of ego where it was like, I just want to buy as many properties as I possibly can. And when you're coming from this quantity over quality type mindset, get ready because it never works out. It never works out in our relationships. It never works out in food and just overindulging in these things and just not paying attention. We were not paying attention. And I'm very open about the fact that I quit drinking alcohol 2 years ago, going on 3 years, actually, everybody. Next month will be 3 years. Maybe we'll have a little celebration. I don't ever intend to go back to drinking alcohol or using drugs, but I was drinking daily, weekly. I mean, probably 6 days a week. And I was so cloudy for years, everybody. I wasn't even half of my capacity. I was in all these different real estate masterminds. I was all about looking cool. I was all about fitting in because I met so many successful real estate investors. The number one question everybody asks themselves when you go to these meetings is, how many doors do you got? How many properties do you got? So I was completely focused on just accumulating as much as I possibly can. And when you mix that ego mentality with the ability to raise capital and get loans from private investors and from banks, it's a recipe for disaster because you're just going to, what I was doing, it was just continuing to buy properties, and I was sitting on a bunch of vacants. And then the rent and the flips that I was doing, I was bringing money in, but it was going right out the door to pay interest payments. And here's the thing, everybody, guess what? We've been through, I mean, as of right now, we paid off over $14 million in private lenders and probably another $10 million in bank loans. We paid everybody back. This has been fighting like hell, but we paid everybody back and we are paying everybody back. This is what's made it so hard. We paid everybody before we paid ourselves. This challenge that we have been through has really built a ton of character. And I'm very excited for what the future holds because it's like, I compare it to like a slingshot, right? You stretch a slingshot back as far as you can. You keep pulling it and stretching it and stretching it. When you finally let that thing go, the farther it's been stretched, the farther it sails once you let it go. Well, we've been stretched so hard over the past several years. I think it's about 3 years, honestly. But what caused all of this mess, and I can blame external circumstances. I can blame the contractor that stole $172,000 from us. I can blame the property manager that tied up over six figures for months on end and we couldn't make some payments and we were robbing Peter to pay Paul. I can blame the business partnership that we entered into other business partners, to other investors that failed, and we lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in liquidity and still have about 70K in attorney bills from that particular situation. I can blame all the external situation and all the external circumstances, but everybody, I'm taking full responsibility because the person I was that was entering all of these dealings was not capable of success. I was drinking, I was seeking massive external validation. How many doors do you own? That's all I care about. I want to see how many, I want to look at this spreadsheet of properties. I don't care if it's performing or not. I don't care if it's getting broken into. I don't care what's going on. I haven't even laid eyes on this thing in months. I don't care. I just want to keep buying, buy more, buy more, buy more. It is this scarcity mentality, right? That is a scarcity mentality. I just need more, 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 right? You know what it comes up? It's like, it's Labor Day today. A lot of people are barbecuing out. That person who's like, I need the biggest steak. Give me the biggest one. It's like, you're living in scarcity. That's what I was, right? Nothing was ever good enough. Not to mention, I was completely checked out of the responsibilities of running a successful company, right? I was completely head in the sand. I wasn't paying attention to the bank accounts, and we had massive expenses because that same behavior of I want more, more, more was also bleeding into the organization to where it's like, I want to be bigger, bigger, bigger. We had 16 people on our team at one point in time. Every single one of these people earning a salary. And we've always paid our people too, right? So I'm sharing with you some hardship, and we fell massively into debt, and we've overcome quite a bit. The good news is we've always paid our people, because that's that karma, right? We paid every lender, and we paid every team member that's ever worked with us, and contractors and whatnot. But really the biggest thing that changed for me is I had kids. I had these twins. I have twins. That was another blessing, you know. And we were in the hospital for over 5.5 months, premature twins. One of them's got complications to this day. We're still dealing with a bunch of therapies and stuff like that. And the biggest thing for me, I mean, I knew things were not going well. I knew this was not sustainable any longer. And it all, you know, the step one to cleaning all this financial mess up was quitting alcohol for me. I needed to get my head straight. I needed to clear my head and I needed to become brutally honest with myself in the situation and realize this is not sustainable. We were falling behind on so many property taxes. I didn't even add that up. I just did a quick little research here on, 14 million in private debt, probably another 20 million in bank loans, probably at least another, several $100,000 in taxes that needed to be paid. All of this, bills, invoices, this was just piling up. And it was very, very humbling, because the bigger the ego, the more humbling it is when it all comes crashing down. And I was grateful, and I am grateful we were somewhat proactive here, where I saw the writing on the wall, where I'm like, this thing is going to implode. We were probably just a few months out, maybe 6 months out from like a complete bankrupt implosion. So first thing I did was quit drinking. And I will never go back, because that version of me it is impossible for that version of me to create success in my relationships, my health, or my business. That all goes to shit. Complete down the drain, done. Because I become a different human being. And these external substances, anytime you're seeking external solutions for internal problems, look out. It's a train wreck. So there is no way I could operate on the level that I know my potential is, and I know I'm capable of, and you're capable of, when we're bringing in this external shit. First off, I'll never go back to that. Next thing we had to do was become brutally honest. It's like, all right, how are we making money, or are we just, skimming by? Like, how are we making money? What is our total overhead? And then we started slashing overhead, guys. We lowered our overhead. Unfortunately, we had to part ways with many team members and stuff like that. Our team is smaller than it's ever been, but guess what? We're actually more efficient than we've ever been. We're profitable. You got to get profitable. That is step one with any business. And I hope, if you're new to the real estate investing game, I hope you're watching this. And I'm here to tell you, focus on profits from day one. Please hold back from taking on debt to just scale your company. There's a lot of shiny objects. You see these YouTube videos and these mastermind groups, and it's like, you need this sales closing, you need this CRM, you need this tool, you can't live without it. I'm here to tell you, we signed up for so much shit. And the first thing we had to do when it came to cleaning all of this up was start hacking it away. We used to call it Doge. We're not like political. The Elon Musk thing, he used to do the Doge. So stupid. It's all dumb to me. But that's what he was doing, is like slashing expenses. And I think I don't think they actually did slash expenses. I'm not here to talk about politics. I don't know. I just don't know. But that's what we did. We slashed expenses like you wouldn't believe. I'm talking old domain names. And then that's this massive attachment that you have to face. That's this massive, you're attached to things, attached to these domain names. It's like, real estate cartel 101.com. That's just an example. But it's like, oh, maybe I'm going to use this one day. Man, you ain't used it in years. Cut it. Cut. Focus on your key players. Focus on the key players of your team, and you could get a lot done with a handful of people. And maybe you don't even need a team. If you're starting out, depending on where your situation's at, maybe you don't even need a team, right? But only focus on key players on your team, and then only focus really on lead generation, right? Don't sign up for all of these like sales courses and lead management and things like that. Find somebody who's walked a mile in the shoes that you're looking to walk on, and just learn from them. If you're looking to hire a coach, we coach people. Our students are very successful. It's very boutique. It's great because they get to learn from in depth all of our mistakes that we have made, right? So we can take somebody who's new or somewhat new and completely get them on the right path because we've walked the wrong path. But one piece of advice is to get profitable immediately. And the only way this is going to happen is if you're brutally honest. Brutally honest, everybody. And then you got to be brutally honest with the people you owe money to. And this is vendors and this is lenders. You got to. You can't just keep, if you can't pay yourself something, I mean, we got to break even. We have not been living high on the hog. Obviously, we need to earn a paycheck to pay our families, or to pay for our families and this and that. But we have not been taking in large sums of money. No, everything goes to people we owe money to. But you got to be honest. If you can't pay someone, then you got to work out some kind of payment arrangement, and you got to put your tail between your legs. And that the ego hates this, right? But you got to do what you got to do and have these tough conversations and just be realistic. Slash your expenses massively. Focus your energy on revenue generating activities, which is generating leads, making offers, and raising money. You got to keep raising money too. A lot of times you got to keep raising money from the private lenders that you owe money to. And you got to have a heart to heart, and you got to come and say, this is exactly what's going on, but here's the path forward. And I'm going to share with you this. This is absolutely key. When it comes to having these scary, what could be looked at as scary or fearful conversations, get your numbers together. Completely get dialed in to the point where you know exactly what you owe on properties. Right now, before this video, I tallied it up. We owe $5,145,420 to private lenders. We used to owe over 20, right? Lots been paid down. As you can see, this is where I'm coming up with 75% has been paid off. But you got to have heart-to-hearts with these people and say, look, here's the plan. So you got to face the reality of getting in there and learning the numbers. This is something that I struggled with for a long time. I was afraid of it. I never wanted to face it. I never wanted to get into the nuts and bolts of the business and, see where we were making money and losing money. It was just too overwhelming for me. But if you do not do this task and get in there and create the details, what is going on in your business, and then share these specific details with these lenders. The worst thing you can do is act like everything's fine. If it's not, you got to be honest. Brutal honesty with yourself, brutal honesty with any vendor or lender that you owe money to. From there, Focus on flipping rather than buy and hold. When you're needing cash, you need money quick, right? We are just getting around to buying and holding again, but it's been 3 years. I mean, we've owned so many rental properties and we still own a lot. But when we were cleaning all this up, and as we've been cleaning all this up for the last several years, it is all about wholesaling, novation. We need cash like quick, right? So I would say focus on the flipping business while you are either building your business and or cleaning up massive financial crap that we have dealt with. And that if you're going to do this business long enough, you're going to get your bumps in the road too. You're going to learn your lessons. The way to learn your lesson is to be brutally honest and get in there and face it and not pretend like everything's perfectly fine. So it all comes back to the daily habits and the daily routine. You need to work on you. Okay. What led us down this path of failure previously was me internally. I was not ready for success. Personally, I was not ready for the success because my habits were way off, dealing with massive ego. I was just a piece of shit. I mean, I don't even know how else to describe this to you. Completely soft. I used to wake up hungover for a 9 o'clock meeting and just like be on a call and be like I'm in the background. I'm like, I used to start drinking some days at like 11:30 in the morning, right? I was a mess. I was completely checked out. And then you know what my answer to solve all my problems was? Just hire someone to do it for me. Well, they expect a paycheck. It's increasing your expenses. You have no clue how to even hold this person accountable. This is what drove me to the ground, everybody. I'll never do this again. So what's the opposite of that? Hyper awareness in daily routine and daily habits. So first and foremost, when it comes to the money thing, you got to check your accounts every single day and you got to look at your expenses every single day. Cancel and negotiate fees. Fight for every dollar. When you're behind the eight ball, you better fight for every dollar and you better be aware of where things are costing you money and especially where money's coming from. When is your next payday? You got to pay attention, right? Property management, we've relied on all these property managers and just never checked. And like they were just letting properties sit vacant. Our fault for not checking. Trust but verify is absolutely essential. So become hyper aware, make this part of your daily routine that you're going to obsess about the numbers. What you focus on expands, right? Slash expenses. I already told you we slashed expenses by about 85%. Have the difficult conversations with every vendor and lender that you work with. It was easy for us to have conversations. You know why? Listen to this. God works in mysterious ways. The universe just pounded us. Forced ego death right now. So we were paying all of our private lenders before we were paying the banks. So we ran into numerous behind payments defaults with banks. And an old title company we used to work with, they never released the private lenders' names off of these titles. Let me explain. So we would buy a property with a private lender. Let's say his name is Jim. Jim funds this private lender deal. Then we do a BRRRR, buy, renovate, rent, refi, repeat. So we have a loan with Jim on this house. The bank comes in and refinances this. So Jim gets paid back and now we owe the bank money. So we had all these bank loans, but previously to the bank loans, there was a private lender who funded the initial purchase and construction of this. But they've been paid back. They're out of the picture now. The old title company never released them. So when we ran into issues and defaults with a lot of these banks, they served paperwork, court paperwork, foreclosure paperwork to the old private lenders. You want to talk about being humiliated? They were serving, many of these people are doctors or working professionals. They were showing up at these people's offices, serving them. I'm getting phone calls. Dave, what is this? It cost us roughly $60,000 in legal fees, recording fees, and doc preparation fees to clean up this mess that the title company, sure, I could blame them, but I take full responsibility for everything, right? This was a blessing because it forced me to face these people. It forced me to face everybody. But these old lenders were all getting served because of our bank defaults. We were doing bank workouts with the banks. And what you're going to find is if you're honest and you know your numbers, like, hey, this is what we're bringing in, this is what's realistic, this is what I could realistically pay you until we get back on our feet. If you're honest and you have a plan, most people are going to work with you. Why wouldn't they? Right? A lender's worst fear is having to go through the judicial process of foreclosing on somebody. It's going to take a year. It's a nightmare. The lender's worst fear is having a borrower who just skips town and leaves. I mean, that just creates a giant mess for everybody. When you do the opposite, you completely face this stuff, people are going to work with you. Not all are going to be happy. I got some people who are pretty pissed at me now. But guess what? They're going to get paid. And we'll probably end up working together again. This is how business works, everybody. Just keep doing the right thing, even when it's not easy, especially when it's not easy, right? Not everybody's going to be happy, but you got to pay them back. And you got to get on a plan that's realistic for you. So all of these lenders are getting served. You know, we're doing bank workouts. We're selling properties. We're paying back taxes. And we're flipping like crazy. So I told you, I don't know if I told you, but we paid off 95 private loans in the last like 2-3 years. That's a crap load. 95 private loans were paid off, which I'm very proud of that. We only have 30 left. So there you go. We had 120 private loans at one time. Insane, right? Pure insanity. You know how many millions of dollars that is? It's easily over $20 million in loans. Easily. Anyway, what got us into trouble is an ego mindset of biting off more than we can chew. Oh, growing for the sake of growth, not for profitability. Oh, how many doors could I accumulate? Sitting on vacant properties, focused on buying the next one before fixing the last one. You know, pay attention. Head in the sand mentality is going to run you into the ground. And then not doing the work or not facing the work and trying to outsource everything. Oh, I'm not going to do the bookkeeping. I'm just going to outsource this, outsource that, and have no clue what's really going on. You are going to find yourself in a world of hurt, just like we did. But if you find yourself in this world of hurt, the first thing you got to do is start working on yourself. And it starts with becoming brutally honest with yourself and your behaviors, right? Are you still drinking? Are you still, slacking off? Are you still not working on yourself? In these videos, we talk a lot about daily routine, right? Are you still sleeping in? Are you still being that person who got you into the mess? The person who got you into the mess is not the same person who's going to get you out of the mess. You have to change. You have to change. You, right? So that's where to start. I mean, with these, it's going to start with a daily routine. You have to work on yourself daily and keep your commitments to yourself. Wake up on time. You set a commitment that you're going to wake up on time, do it, right? You set a commitment that you're going to go to the gym, do it. You have to be keeping your promises to yourself. And then keep your promises to your lenders and to your vendors. Just keep your word and face it, especially when it's not easy, because it's not always going to be easy, everybody. So this is just a snippet. I'm sure we're going to be talking about this for years to come because it's been such a monumental part of our lives and business. And hey, here's where I'm at now. This is probably the most gut-wrenching and embarrassing thing I've ever had to deal with in business. But now I sit in front of you as somebody who's talking about it openly, obviously. But it's also a blessing. I can see it for the blessing that it is, because it's turned me into an absolute efficiency beast. My daily routine is impeccable right now, and I'm getting all my validation from the work that I'm putting in. Right? That's the opposite of what got me into the trouble. I used to seek validation from how many doors do you got? I just want to keep buying. Look how many doors I got. That's all external validation. Now I'm getting all of my validation from the work that I'm putting in, from the honesty that I'm putting out, right? I love you all. I got your back, right? I've walked some hard paths personally and professionally with the addiction stuff and with the business stuff. But I'm in a great spot right now. So if you're just finding us and finding me, pleased to meet you. And we are going to crush over the next several years. I ain't going anywhere. I've been making these videos just for probably a week now, just personal development and brutal honesty and stuff like that. we got over 1,000 videos on this channel, but a lot of it's just real estate, and there's a lot of obviously amazing content and stuff like that. I'm excited for the future. It's a whole new ball game. I'm just approaching you. I got a couple bullet points in front of me, and here we go. Anything you want to ask me, feel free to. You could DM me on Instagram at the real Dave P. I wish YouTube had a DM feature. They don't. But I got your back. If you're just starting in real estate, let us help you. Or if you're just kind of still small in real estate, let us help you. We will help you. Everything from raising money to managing your rehab, so you don't have to have the mistakes that we have made. But everybody, hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next video.